model that I once came across for the kidney dialysis machine, and sure enough, it's very similar. Pair of differential equations. So in some sense, it is like the same model, but used to solve different problems. We can also try to provide learning experiences where some of these skills can be applied and practiced. Now I'm going to skip that one because I think there's already a lot of talk about assessing mathematical modeling. But what can the teacher do? I think in the earlier keynote speeches, this has already been touched on. But let me just emphasize again that sometimes it is important for the teacher to establish the purpose of the model. Even though we may want the learners or the students to be experimenting and exploring on their own, it may be useful to at least provide a little bit of guidance. It's also helpful at times to break the problem up into smaller parts so that the students can eat the elephant one bit at a time, one bite at a time. Perhaps it's also useful to make connections, if necessary, to other topics or other disciplines and provide the direction to these resources. Asking questions, I think it's important for teachers to ask questions. Providing support, but perhaps minimal support, because we really want students to be going through the process. Now, in conclusion, I would like to quote two very famous people. The first is Graham Hardy. In Mathematician's Apology, he said, "I have never done anything useful. No discovery of mine has made or is likely to make, directly or indirectly, for good or ill, the least difference to the humanity of the world." It looks as though Hardy, one of the best pure mathematicians of his time, was apologizing for the uselessness of mathematics. But in actual fact, he was talking about how beautiful pure mathematics is. And he regards applied mathematics as very ugly, very dirty. Well, he was wrong. Wrong in the sense that it's not true that he has not done anything useful. Today, his Hardy-Weinberg equation is applied in population genetics. You can't talk about population genetics without talking about Hardy-Weinberg. It's very useful indeed, and not exactly very ugly. Okay? So that's my first quote. Next person I like to quote is Mother Teresa, who once said, "We can do no great things, only small things with great love." Indeed, sometimes small things like what we do in the classroom for our students, if done with great love, can be more impactful than big, massive stuff. So finally, I have two messages for teachers. Number one, let us, as teachers in our mathematics classroom, strive to make mathematics meaningful, useful, and beautiful. Not necessarily in that order, but meaningful, useful, and beautiful, yeah. And if you feel that mathematical modeling is one way of making mathematics meaningful, useful, and beautiful, then the second message, if we are starting out, trying out new things with mathematical modeling experiences, let's start small. We don't always need a 3-day mathematical modeling event to champion mathematical modeling or to promote mathematical modeling. It can be done small. Thank you.